no sales on Etsy or low sales? Today I'm going to walk you through everything I do to get sales on Etsy. Hi, I'm Carrie with Sunshine Vintage Vibes. If you're new here, I am a vintage home decor reseller. My main shop is on Etsy. I do cross-list, but like 98% of my business comes from Etsy. So last week I did a video called Best Month Ever, and it's where I shared my sales for May. I had 83 sales for the month of May on my Etsy shop. And so I gave some tips at the end, and I've got so much response that I had lots of questions. And so I thought I'd dive deeper into what I do on my Etsy shop to basically manage my listings. I'll quickly give the tips that I gave in the last video, and then I'm going to talk about everything to do with your Etsy shop, your listings and your shop. We're talking photos, videos, titles, tags, shop categories. We're talking profile, reviews, renewals, favorites, everything to do with your shop. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about marketing, sales, promotion, and ads. So let's get started. They're basically do's and don'ts. So the first one is don't utilize Etsy's suggested titles on already established listings. Now, if you have a brand new listing and you want to use Etsy's title suggestions, go for it. But don't change your already established listings to the suggested titles that Etsy has for all of them. Don't do it. But do maximize the 140 characters you get in the title. So if you utilize Etsy's suggested title only for new listings, don't change your old listings. Make sure you are maximizing those 140 characters. If you're using them, they're not going to give you 140, but you have 140. Maximize your Etsy titles. Now, don't go and change all of them. That's my next don't. Don't change all your listings in one swoop about anything. Don't go in and change all your titles at once or anything all at once. Don't do it because it's going to mess up your algorithm. You're going to lose sales. Don't do it. You want to make sure that any changes you make are one by one and they're slight. If you change them all at once, your listings that were here are now over here, and the algorithm has to figure out how to get them back into the mix. So don't change all your titles or really anything all in one swoop. Do use ground shipping. I changed all of my listings to ground shipping, except for books. I ship out media mail, but don't do free shipping. There are a lot of vintage resellers that do free shipping, but they've been doing it a long time. They know what they're doing. Don't use free shipping, especially if you're new. It's too hard to figure out. There's too many variables, and you don't want to lose money because you're offering free shipping, something Etsy pushes. Don't do it unless you know what you're doing. I've had my shop on Etsy for almost a year, and I do not offer free shipping. I tried it once with jewelry. I don't do that. Everything ground shipping, and then books, media mail. Now do check out my shipping video. I did a huge whole video all about shipping. It's called 18 Orders Ship With Me. It was when I went on vacation. I came back, I had 19 orders, but one got shipped out early. And I talk about all things shipping. So if you have questions about shipping, check out that video and then let me know if you have more questions after that. Talking about vacation, don't put your shop on vacation mode. Unless you're gonna be gone for a month or more, don't put it on vacation mode. But do extend the processing time. I went to Hawaii for 10 days. I did not put it on vacation mode. I just extended my processing time. So that I would be back the day it would ship. I also changed my profile to let the buyers know that I was on vacation and their item would not ship until this specific date. And then I messaged every single buyer to let them know that I was on vacation. Their item would be shipped out such and such date. If they have an issue, let me know. I had 19 orders while I was gone. Never did I put it on vacation mode. When you take your shop, that's here. Here's all the Etsy shops. Here's your algorithm. You take it on vacation mode. It's not like pausing here. It gets put aside. It's here. The algorithm's working with all of these. You're on vacation mode. It's not even in the mix anymore. Now they put it back and the algorithm doesn't know what to do. It takes time. Don't put it on vacation mode. Again, if you're going to be gone for a long time, that's different. You know, you're basically are vacationing, you are pausing your shop. But if you're gone 2 weeks or less and your buyers are aware, that's what I would do. That's what I did. I had 19 orders. Okay, so now let's get into all of the everything else that I wasn't able to get to on the last video. So we're gonna talk about photos and video. Actually, I did talk about titles and tags last time, so let me just run through that real quick. So titles, I just told you don't use Etsy titles, but you wanna maximize those titles. Now, something to remember is don't repeat yourself in the titles. Don't say, copper pan, copper pot, copper pots and pans, copper metal cooking. Don't use copper. You only need it once. Same thing with pot or any word. You don't need to repeat the words in the title. Now, if you have a candle holder, that's like candle holder, or candlestick, different. I would put both of those in there. And then same thing with tags. Don't repeat too many of your tags. So tags are tough, and there's something that you can use, titles and tags. If you're struggling to maximize those 13 tags, use AI. It's great. Either Google AI or ChatGPT. Both of them work, or whatever AI you use. What I'll do is, if I'm struggling to find tags, because tags is probably where I probably have, not the most struggle, but where I'm, say I had 10, I need 3 more. And I really want them to be strong SEO searchable words. So I will go to AI and I will copy and paste the title and maybe the measurements, depending, let's say it's a copper pan, and I will put that into AI asking for tags. Now, the more you are descriptive, the more detailed you are giving AI, the better information you're going to get back. And then I'll just pick and choose the ones I like, and then I complete it. So maximize your title, maximize your tags. And now maximize your photos. You get 20 photos. Now, some products don't warrant 20 photos. They just don't. I had this brass bucket, and I think I had 30 photos. I went through them. I went down to 20. I put them, I uploaded them all. I used my phone. I uploaded them all, and I was like, okay, I have too many. I don't need to see it I see it from every side, top, bottom, logo, any condition issues, but I don't need the same side 5 times. So I went down to probably 14 or 15. I don't need 20, but if your item warrants 20 photos, maximize them. Some listings only have 3. Photos sell, and so do video. Etsy just changed it to add a second video. I am so excited about this because sometimes it's hard to get the whole, everything you want to show in a 15-second video. So you definitely want to have, have a video. Every single one of your listings needs to have a video. To me, there's no exception. If you're doing it on your phone, if you're taking pictures on your phone or really any device, you have the capability of doing a video. And I think the easiest, which works for me, I have a laptop. If you watch my inventory reset, I talked about how I sort of process my inventory. I will put everything into a draft, everything about the product, the measurements, the condition, everything that I know about the item that's saved in my drafts. And then once I take photos, they're on my phone, and I upload the photos from my phone and the video from my phone onto the Etsy through the app. I don't put them then into my computer. That's an extra step I don't need to do. And I can also, for me, it's easier to edit the photos on my phone. So same with the video. Sometimes those videos can be dark, and you can edit that in the Photos app and then upload it on the Etsy app. That's so much easier. In the very beginning, I was sending all my photos to my computer, to my laptop, then taking those, and it was 3 extra steps that I did not need. I do everything from my phone regarding photos. I can, do everything on my phone, but I find it easier to work on my laptop, except the photos and videos. Some items don't warrant a second video. One video is kind of enough. And unlike my books, I'm excited to have a second video for my books because 15 seconds to show the book, the inside, the condition, the outside, it's not enough time. So I think now for my books, I'm going to do one video just of the product, showing it inside the pages, and then one condition, right? Because there's I buy vintage books, or I sell vintage books, a lot of old, very old vintage books. There's always conditions, so that one can be the condition. But I thought since I have 2 videos now, what can I do with this second video? Like, I'm gonna take advantage of it. So I thought maybe I'd do a little vignette, like create a little like display of that item with some other items. And I will, if I won't get to it by the time this comes out, but I will put it up maybe on social media or maybe one of my next videos. But, and then just like kind of create a little like design, and then I can use that video for that item and any other items that I have in that sort of vignette display. I mean, they're giving us a second video. We might as well take advantage of it. So that's another thing. Anything that Etsy is offering, take advantage. Your description, it should have stuff in there. And don't repeat your title in your description. Don't, whatever you wrote in the title, you don't need to put it in the description. You just don't. The buyer knows. The buyer doesn't need to be reminded. It's not like they have to go to another page. It's all on one page. So don't repeat it. It's just a waste of time and you don't need to do it. And then really like whatever you need to put in there, put in there. Now, I copy my listings. I don't create new ones. I use old listings, whether they're active, sold. I will just take a listing that's similar. Let's say a copper pot. I will take a copper pot that's sold or one that I have listed. I will copy that listing. I will delete all the photos. I'll go in and I'll change whatever I need to change, usually the measurements, the condition, anything else. Like, you know, maybe that was like a French copper pan and the next one, or a pot, and the next one is not. So whatever I need to change, and I will complete that full listing and save it. Now it's ready to go. It saves a lot of time because in my listings, I have like some disclaimers about, you know, that all my items are vintage. I do my best to sort of photograph them. I also do a disclaimer that I use recycled boxes. I do not buy boxes. Now I buy bubble wrap and paper, even though my bubble wrap guy has been out of paper for like weeks. I've been scrounging around trying to find like, he says he's going to have it on Wednesday, but I'm almost at a point where I need to just go buy some packaging paper. But, so that I do buy, but sometimes like the last couple of days, I've been using like paper bags that I've had for packing because I don't have any packing material. But so that's disclosed on there. Here is just a link to my Etsy account if you want to take a look at what my shop looks like. You know, it's a work in progress. I've been doing this for a year. And so this is just, you know, what I've been doing. I've had over 600 sales. And again, last month, the month of May, I had 83. So I had a really good month. Your Etsy categories. So that's why I kind of like to copy a listing that is similar to the one I'm going to be listing, right? So if I'm selling a copper pot, let's just stick with a copper pot. And I'm going to try to pick a copper pot because the category is going to be the same. The shop section is going to be the same. A lot of the tags are going to be the same. So it just is less work. Creating a new listing every time for something that you already have. Now, in the beginning, of course, you're creating new ones. You don't have a lot of them. But now that I have over 600 sales plus 400 plus listings, I have plenty in there. You know, I have 1,000 listings to choose from to use to copy. So categories, make sure your category is correct. And if you are going to copy a listing and it's not the same category, no problem, but then just change the category and the year. So you have to do a year in there as well. Now, if I know the year, I'm going to put the exact year, right? If it's a 1979, I'm going to put 1970s because I know it. But if I don't know it and I ask, like, you know, if I research it and it's like, oh, it's between 1950s and 1970s, I will always go to the later year. I'll always put in the category 1970s. Because I don't want a buyer saying, hey, you said this was 1950s, but really it's 1962 or 1972. So if I go later, everybody's okay that it's like, oh, I said it was 1970s, but really it's 1963. People will be happier that way. So that's what I do. I don't know what Etsy recommends, but I don't want a buyer to be disappointed. When I first started, I didn't do that listing complete. Like I didn't fill in like attributes and materials. And I mean, I did a little, maybe I would do the color, right? The primary color, maybe a secondary color. They had a different category when I first started that they don't have anymore. It was just 2 places to put the materials. I was glad they got rid of it because it was redundant. Now I maximize those attributes. Etsy is giving these to you. So put them in, put the measurements. If the category puts like down below, I think it's attributes. Take advantage of it. Put in the measurements, put in the color, the material, if it's art, they ask, like, is it Art Deco? Is it Art Nouveau? Is it Impressionist? Like, whatever you can do to complete it, your listing should be complete. Don't make it like, don't put 3 photos. Don't hardly put anything in it. Titles, like, whatever the Etsy suggests, and, tags are, there's, 5 tags. You're missing your chance to get seen. Etsy uses all of the information on that listing to find the buyer for you. The more information you have on it, the easier it is for the algorithm to figure out, oh, this will work for this person, right? They're looking for a blue, floral, art, oil painting, impressionist, small. All of those are attributes. So if you have them in there, oh, I'm going to put that in there. So I'm going to send this to that buyer. So that's what I do. Now, I also take advantage of shop sections. I mentioned this last week, but shop sections are your own personal Etsy shop sections. These are not Etsy's categories. These are your own shop sections. And why does this matter? Now, for me, it matters for 2 reasons. One, and the most important, it allows a buyer to search your shop. So let's say a buyer is looking for, like I mentioned, a blue art oil painting small, and they get your listing and they click on it. Now that is in my art. I have an art category. And so now they're going to see my shop section has, 30 pieces of art. Now they're going to look through all of my art. Now, if I don't have a shop section, that's not going to pull up for them. They're not going to even know that I have more than just this particular piece of art. They're going to go to some other listings that are there. But if they see that I actually have more pieces of art besides the one they clicked on, a good chance they're going to look at especially if they like it, they might go look at the other pieces of art in my art section. These sections you can choose however you want to organize them. I really like them. They help me stay organized on my Etsy shop. I see what I have, what I don't have, what's right. And then you can also search them. Like, I will go and filter them by shop sections, because every once in a while something random, like maybe a candlestick gets stuck in the art section. That's just me not. Most likely I copied a listing. I didn't change the shop sections because it's at the very, very end of your listing. And sometimes it gets overlooked, like it's below shipping. It's at the very end. So you just want to make sure that it's correct, but you could easily filter that. So I think shop sections are great. So I utilize them. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, shop sections, just Google it, go on Etsy. Etsy has a lot of information on how to, build your shop. There's lots of videos on it. All I suggest is you definitely have your shop sections.
So now let's talk about featured items, your featured listings. They're here. I am on the buyer's perspective. You could see the top shows featured items. I always take advantage of this. Now here we're back on our dashboard. If you click over here, featured listings, it shows you the ones that I have right now. This is the star. All of these are starred, so they're on the featured listings. If you click manage, you can move them around, and you can change the position. Now on a laptop, I don't know if it's different on on your mobile, but on the laptop it shows the first 4. I always click more than 4 because if one sells out, I want another one to take its place. But if you want to move them around, you can. So let's unclick them right now, because these are the ones that I have, and then let's replace them with something else, because I do this every week, but you don't have to do it every week, maybe every month. So I'm thinking I'm going to do silver. So here is all my silver items that pop up. So I'm going to click some silver and switch out all of these turquoise ones for silver for the week. And the reason you want to do this is because it features them at the top of your page. So whenever a buyer goes to your page, your shop, these will be on the top, these 4 listings. So I try to do kind of a theme. So here I clicked 5. These are the 5 that I'm going to use. Now let's look at them from a buyer's perspective on your shop. So here they are from a buyer's perspective on the top of your shop, featured items. I think it's to help get these sold, and it also allows you to be creative.
Just like your listings, your titles, your tags, your photos, you need to maximize your profile. We're talking logo, photo, cover, details, whatever they offer, fill it out. This is allowing you, the Etsy shop owner, to tell the buyer, hey, this is who I am, this is what I sell, whatever you want to put in there, whatever background, whatever that that you feel needs to be said about your shop. I mean, I wouldn't go crazy, but I would put in there, I think there is probably a limit. But this is how you're going to get sales and how buyers are going to trust you. So I would take advantage of the profile. If you don't know how to do some of this stuff, go on Canva. I use Canva for everything. I create my logos, a lot of my social media posts, my covers, all of that, all on Canva on the free version. It's simple. They have templates. That's what I do. And I still think it could be improved for sure. Everything can be improved, right? We're always trying to improve. Now let's talk about renewals. Now I am maybe a little, this might be too much for you. And I get it if it's too much for you. Sometimes it's too much for me, but this is what I do to manage my shop. So I'm going to talk about renewals and then reviews. And then don't forget, coming up is all about marketing, sales, and promotion. So if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so let me show you what I do for renewals. I'm going to give you a screenshot so you can see. Now, I filter my shop. I have 420 something listings right now. I probably have about 60 items to get up. I did a lot of thrifting in the last week. So I have about 60 items to get up. So I'm going to have about 500 items in my shop. And this seems like a lot. And you can batch this. You don't have to do exactly what I do. I'm even thinking, as I've been thinking about this and writing things down, I think I should start batching it as well. I think weekly is too hard. So I will go into my listings, my active listings. I will filter it by expiration soonest, expiring soonest. I want to see what listing is going to be expiring today, tomorrow, this week. And let's check out and see what's going on. Now on your listings, there is a button here, right here, it's a stats where you can toggle. Now, when I'm normally doing it, I keep it off. I find it distracting. But when I am doing renewals or I want to learn about the stats of this item, I want to see the stats. So on renewals, I will filter it expiration soonest, and then it'll pop up what listing is going to be expiring next, like what's going to be expiring today, tomorrow, whatever. So you can see that the listing that's going to be expiring next are these frames, and then it, obviously, the next and the next one. And so these frames, now when I toggle the stats on, it'll show this, like the visits and the favorites. So on these frames, I've had 18 visits, 1 favorite, no sales. Now there are 4 in stock. So this is a new listing. I redid these frames. I put some like scrapbooking paper in them. I thought it looked really good. I liked it uniform. But now I'm realizing that I think it's too distracting. People don't know what they're buying. They're hard to see. I think the green is too vibrant. And don't think it's working. I think it's the pictures. Now, I think the price is good. I checked the whole listing. Shipping is good. But I think the pictures need to be improved. So I will make these changes. I'm going to switch out all of those. I'm going to put some, I bought some magazines from like the 1970s. I just was in Palm Springs and I bought some magazines from like 1977 and 1978. I'm going to pull some of that, like anything from those magazines and put them in these frames and reshoot them. And I'm going to use those as the photos. How renewals work? Well, when you list something on Etsy, it gets a little boost. I've heard anywhere between 4 and 7 days. I don't think that's been confirmed, but the listing gets a little boost, right? Doesn't have any activity, doesn't have any history. So it's just giving it a boost to try to see what lands and try to get some people to look at it, favorite, hopefully buy it, right? Now, if you have a listing that renews, along with that boost, the visits, the favorites go with it. I heard the other day somebody said it takes Etsy 4 months to figure out where your listing, should go. 4 months is one renewal. Like, I didn't like to hear that. They kind of bummed me out. But it also made me think like, okay, so be patient, calm down, because I don't want stuff sitting. I want stuff. I don't even like to have stuff renew, but I'm getting better about like allowing it. Okay, so let's do it again, right? Let's renew. I usually do it weekly. Remember what I said, don't batch change everything because now Etsy doesn't know where to put it. But we're talking small things. So like that basket, I changed the price. I think I changed the price on that vase as well. That's just how I work renewals. Now, if this is too much, I get it. It is a lot. But you also don't want to just list it and forget it. Like that does not work. Yes, some of those listings do sell quick. Those are the best. And those are the ones you need to go out and thrift all the time. The best thing is when you sell something like within the first week, right? It's so great. I tend to like, okay, that sold. I'm going to get another one. Like, but then you have listings where I'm on renewal too. Now I was watching a vintage YouTuber and she was showing, I think it was like her top 5 items that she's had the longest. And one item she's had for 5 years. I had to rewind it because I didn't believe it. I was like, did she say 5 years? I mean, it was like this, I can't exactly remember, but it was like this ornate, crazy thing. So it would have taken a special like buyer to want it. But it was priced high. I mean, high. And she hadn't like, and she still had it. It was still in her Etsy shop. That's not what I want. I do not want things sitting for 5 years. I don't even want them sitting for 8 months. That does not work for me. I want stuff. I am in the business. This is my business. I'm in the business of buying and selling. And if they're not selling, I'm not making money and you're not making sales. So you got to do everything you can to get your listings sold. And all the stuff I told you about is all like the front end. And then this is what you have to do. This is you're managing it. So this isn't working. Now, price is a big one, but don't always start with price. It could be photos. Maybe your shipping was too high. Like when I switched to ground shipping, I had 83 sales. I want to say I changed in April sometime. And then I had May was my best month yet, almost a year. And it was my best month. And I do think ground shipping had a huge impact. So you don't always want to reduce your item. And I get that, we work hard and, you're making $12, your sale is $12 minus Etsy fees, minus cost of goods sold. Yeah, you're making what, $8, $7, maybe. I think I bought those for $4 if I'm remembering correctly. So I'm barely making anything. So it is a lot of work for nothing. To me, my options are, I'm going to rework it one more time, right? And then if that doesn't work, I will either post it on Facebook, both of them, like, $10 to get rid of them, or I'll donate them. So I am not going to have anything in my shop for 5 years. I just know, no way. That's too long. I think a year is going to be my max. Now, a year is coming up. I don't think I've had anything in my shop for a year late. That's not true. I would say maybe July, I bought a few crystal glass, like crystal items. I know exactly which one. I have 3 of them, all different things, and I've had them from the beginning. And if they don't sell, I don't think I took them off auto renewal. There's 3 of them. If they do not renew, and I think I have them on Facebook like dirt cheap because they don't sell. I don't want them in my shop. I will like try to just sort of get my money back and move on, or I'll just donate them. So that's how I work. You have to do whatever works for you. This is what works for me. Let's talk about reviews. Reviews are another way that buyers will trust you, right? Sales and reviews. That's what buyers want to see. And they also want to see a profile that's complete. They want to know who you are. They want to know who they're buying from. So besides your profile and your listings being complete, sales is always a good indicator, right? In the beginning, I want to say I listed my first 20 items like low because I needed sales. I had no sales. Here, this is my first item that sold. Isn't it so cute? And I bought it at Goodwill. It is like exactly me. Sunshine vintage vibes. I'm in Southern California. It's like happy. And I loved that this was my first sale. So the first few sales, I want to say, maybe the first 20 were low, and I priced them low on purpose because I needed sales. I had no stats. Not only does the algorithm not know what to do with me because I'm new and they haven't figured me out. They don't know what my shop's about. They don't know who I am. They don't know what to do and where to put me in front of buyers. But once you start getting sales, then they start figuring it out. So I needed sales. And I also wanted the buyers to see, hey, I'm not, I have 10 sales. I'm somebody, I'm something. So you want to get some sales. I did that in the beginning, probably the first month, at least the first month. And I didn't raise them, right? After a month, let's say the first 20 items, I kind of had lower. And then as they sold, maybe I didn't raise any prices. I don't think I've ever raised a price once I list it, ever. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I've reduced prices, but I'm not like, oh, I'm getting a lot of likes, I'm going to raise this price. I've never, ever done that. If I'm getting a lot of visits, a lot of favorites, this item's going to sell. I am not going to go in there and raise it. No way. I want this thing to sell. I'm not greedy when it comes to that. You can go on the buyer side and you can see what's in people's carts. I love that feature so much. It's so great. I wish it was on the backside, right, on our end where we see our listings. I wish that was one of the stats. You can see the visits, you can see the favorites. I wish you could see like in carts, because to me that really helps when I'm doing renewals. And let's say I have 17 visits, 10 visits, 2 favorites, and I'm thinking maybe I should reduce it. I will go into the buyer side. Is it in anybody's carts? Because if it's in 2 people's carts, okay, it's priced right. 2 people have it in their cart, even though maybe they haven't bought it yet, but at least there's activity. So I will do that a lot. And it also makes you feel good. Like, okay, somebody likes this. All right. Like, it's something. So knowing that it's in the cart really helps. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, So see, ADHD brain. I'm like all over the place. Okay. So reviews, you want to get reviews. Sales, you want to get sales and you want to get reviews. So once you have your sales, it just takes some time, be patient. It was slow going for me for sure. But then they, just started ramped up, and then we hit Christmas and, it's been full speed ahead. Now back to reviews. So you want to get reviews are really key. Now I will send out from the beginning, I was sending out thank you cards to every single buyer that bought from me. That's 620 thank you cards I have written. So I had a bunch of thank you cards, like leftover ones that I used up. Then I went to Home Goods and I found these like wedding ones that were like on sale. It was like a pack of 50 for like $4. I don't know. I bought like 10 boxes. I just ran out. And now I just picked up these thank you cards from an estate sale. I think there's like 30. So I have got to get some thank you cards. I don't want to I could make them, but I don't want to. I see these all the time. They're always at garage sales. They're always at thrift stores. So whenever I see them, I'm just going to pick them up. So I do write a thank you card. You do not have to do a thank you card if you do not want to. Don't feel obligated. I do it. It's just something I do. And I'm going to continue doing. When I get a review, I will respond to that review. So you can click your reviews like up on the top. If you're in your dashboard, right, you have to get to the buyer side, right, what the buyer sees. And at the top, you can just click on the stars, I think it is, and how many reviews you have. And then it'll take you to that site and you can start seeing all the reviews. And you can respond to the review. So I respond to every single review. And whatever it is, I don't make it long, I make it short. Like, thank you so much, thanks for the review. And if they talk specifically about the item, I might mention something about the item. Oh yeah, I love that. I got it in Palm Springs, whatever it is. I make it short and sweet, and then I will submit that response. Now, something to take note. Once you submit that response, the review is like, that's it. It's solid. It can't be changed by the buyer, and you can't change there's no changing. It's done. Now, if you get a bad review, let me give you an example. It's the easiest way. I want to say one of my first, say 20 items, I got a review from somebody. She gave me 4 stars and I was really bummed about it. She was right. I had sold a small little cruel and the frame was plastic. And I did not note on the listing that the frame was plastic. So she gave me 4 stars and it wasn't a bad review. It wasn't a 5-star review. So I messaged her and, said, hey, is there a way I can correct it? She never responded. So I responded on the actual review page and just said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'd be happy to switch it out for a wood one. Just let me know, thanks. And so now that's it. I reached out separately. She didn't respond. Then I posted so that buyers will see, I'm taking responsibility for it. So I think that is the key to a negative review, is take responsibility for it. I never heard from her, it's fine, but buyers now see that I made a mistake. I owned up to it because she's right. Now I make sure I'll say I am so detailed, plastic, whatever, everything's made of. Make sure, disclose. You have got to disclose the condition of everything, every blemish, because you don't want it coming back like that. But that was my fault completely. And then I got a 1 star, and let me explain. Somebody gave me a beautiful review, but then the stars was 1 star. Now, I think it was a mistake. I don't think she meant to give me 1 star. So I have mentioned her twice and she hasn't responded, but I haven't responded to that review because I am still hoping maybe she doesn't shop on Etsy all the time and she's going to come back at Christmas time. She's going to see my messages about the 1 star and she's going to go in and she's going to change it and then I'll respond. So that's the only review. I think I have like 160 reviews. The only one I have not responded to. So respond to all of your reviews. Don't combat. Don't do no combating on reviews. This is not the forum. Take responsibility. I'm sorry, you're right. Let me know how I can make it better. That's what you want to do because you want good reviews. And why do reviews matter? Because buyers on Etsy, they want to buy from a seller who's doesn't just have sales, they have reviews and good ones, right? Don't we all look at reviews? Just make sure you are really staying on top of your reviews. Again, I respond to all of them, 160 and 600 and I don't know. I don't think I'm at 650. I think I'm at like 620 thank you cards and I need more. Now let's talk about marketing, ads, promotions, sales, all of that. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe because every Monday for the summer, I'm only doing it for the summer, I am bringing you a new video about reselling. I call it a reseller's life. I did a what sold, I do that every month and I got some questions about shipping. So I thought, well, I'll do a shipping video. And then I got questions about inventory. So I did an inventory video and then it kind of spiraled. So I just thought, well, I'll do a big series behind the scenes of everything that goes on in my shop, how I manage my inventory, how I manage my shop. You will get notified for these videos if you subscribe because they're coming to you every Monday for the summer. Okay, so these are the items and the things I do in regards to marketing. And I'm using marketing as everything. So now Etsy offers lots of options and these are the ones that I take advantage of. So I offer a 10% discount to every buyer who has purchased from me. So, and they get emails, Etsy takes care of everything. You just have to set it up, what discount you want, that you set it up and then they take care of it. You don't have to do anything, which is awesome. There's no cost except for the 10% off. And my buyers have taken advantage of that. And I mean, I am in this for the long run. I want my shop to last a long time. So this isn't just I have a bunch of inventory I'm trying to sell and then I'm out. I really want my shop to be, I want some longevity to my shop. So having repeat customers is really important to me. And so I think that 10% is to me, a no-brainer. So I do have, you can check, you can see who takes advantage of that 10%. And then I want to say I did this in February. I started doing a 5% discount, 5%, which is nothing, to everybody who has an abandoned cart. That's another option that you can use. Again, I think I only started it in February and you can see it's definitely been successful. And I don't know if I find out before I put this out, I'll put it out there. I'll let you know, but I don't know how long the item has to be in their cart to then get a discount. I don't know what the answer is to that. I just know that it's for somebody who has put one of my items in their cart, they've abandoned it, meaning they haven't paid and they didn't buy it. It gives them a 5% discount. And I've had quite a bit of people take advantage of that, which is great. And 5% is nothing. So just, I think this month, the month of May, at towards the end, because that was so successful, I decided I'm going to start doing a 5% discount to someone who favorites my item, not clicks on it, not visits me, not favorites my shop, favorites a specific item. I'm going to give a 5% discount. And that has now produced some sales. Now, would they have bought it without that? I don't know. Nobody knows, right? Unless you ask them. So if it's giving me some sales and it's only costing me 5%, that's a no-brainer for me. So I just started doing that because I realized that the abandoned cart was working. Now I have not, will not, and am not going to offer a discount to somebody who visits or clicks on my item. I'm not going to do that. And I think the biggest reason why is as a reseller, I'm on eBay, I'm on Etsy, I'm researching items that are similar to mine. I want to figure out what this item is. I'm trying to figure out a price. That's how you figure it out. Unless you know and you've sold something like that before, you got to do your research. And we're on all of these platforms all the time. And so I get offers from eBay all the time about items that I'm not looking for them. I'm just researching. So I've clicked on their item and they're offering me a discount. So I do not and am not going to ever offer a discount for somebody who just visits or clicks on my listings. That's just not something I'm going to do. Now I am not running sales. I do not run any sales. There's going to be one exception. So I don't put any of my items on sale. The only time I've ever put anything in Etsy on sale, I'll just reduce it. I'll reduce the price before I put it on sale. I don't know what that is. That's my own thing. On eBay, it's like everything's on sale. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know. That's just maybe me. I don't like to go on a site and like everything's like $50 and then there's a red line through it and then it says 25. Like I don't know. I don't like that. Now as a reseller looking for stuff, I love a sale. Like there's nothing better than a sale. I just picked up some copper and everything was 50% off. Oh my gosh, I was over the moon. Okay, so as a reseller, we love sales. But as end users, buyers, do they love a sale? They want to get a good deal. But I don't want my whole 500 items on sale. So I never run a sale ever. I will just reduce that particular item. Except once a year, last year, I did run a sale and it was during Etsy's Cyber Week. So I want to say it's like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. They run a Cyber Week and I did take advantage of it last year. I signed up. They were pushing for everybody to do 25%. Remember, they have a huge handmade market. So they have things people are selling, keychains for $4. And so they were pushing that if you did 25%, you could be part of their, I don't know, some sort of promotion. So I did it. And then the day came and I got on my site and, I don't know how many listings I had at the time, 300 and something. And I saw all my stuff 25% off and I freaked out. The good thing is you can go in and you can turn it off. You can change it. Actually, you can do that with anything. Like this 5% abandoned cart, all of these promotions, you can go and change it anytime you want, which is really nice. I love that you're not stuck to it. If you don't like it and you don't work it and too many people are taking advantage of it, just cancel it. I do love that. So I got in after Cyber Week and I canceled it. I freaked out. I didn't like 25% was too much. It was too much. And then I thought, well, maybe I won't do it. And then I swear for like a full day, I was like, maybe I should. I don't know. It was crazy. And then I did it. I did 10% and I did have some sales. Now, Etsy promotes this Cyber Week insanely. I think I saw or read or heard, could have been all of them, that Etsy, there are the most buyers on Etsy during that Cyber Week. So they have tons and tons of traffic during that week. And you don't want to be the one shop. That's how I felt. I didn't want to be the one shop that didn't have a sale. Now, 25% was too much. Again, remember, they have a handmade market. I'm not a handmade market. I'm a vintage market. So 25% was too much. 10% was perfect. I had some sales. I will definitely be doing it again this year. So that's the only time I did a sale. And that is because basically almost all of Etsy is on sale. I might go 15% this year. I'll see how I feel. I will definitely do at least 10, thinking 15. So if you want to do and take advantage of Cyber Week, I had some sales. I will put it up here if I still have that information, if I can still find it. I'm sure it's still in there. I want to say I had like 6 sales and I calculated I had some good sales. I did a video on this. I will put the video up here somewhere. I did a video on like sales on I think it might have been my November sales. Yeah, it was. So it was my video about November sales. I talked about Etsy sales and I went into detail of how that Cyber Week worked out for me. So if you want more details, I did go into details. I don't remember the name of the video. I'll put it here, but it was when I reviewed my November sales. It was in December sometime, like beginning of December. So I will definitely do the Cyber Week, but that's it. I never put my shop on sale. I will reduce items all the time. To me, everything sells for a price. Everything, even the stuff that isn't selling. I guess if I put it for $2, it probably would sell. Now, ads. When I first started my shop, I was opted into offsite ads. I did not do that. They did it automatically. When I saw it, remember, I had no sales, and then I'm being charged a marketing fee that did not bring me any sales. I only had like 10 listings. So I reached out to Etsy. I'm like, I don't want these, ads. So they opted out. They refunded me. They were lovely and no problem. Then I want to say, I don't know when it was exactly, maybe November, December, somewhere around there. I started getting charged again. So I reached out and they're like, oh, you made $10,000 in sales in a 365 day period. You are now opted in, it's mandatory, in ads, like offsite ads. So I do ads because I can't not do them, because I want to make 10,000 in that period. You're automatically opted in. It's mandatory. You can't get out. Even if I don't make 10,000 again, that's it. I'm still paying for the ads. Now, at first I was kind of like, what? That's not fair, blah, 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 blah. But then I realized, I look at the statistics and I was getting sales, and I still am. So I am okay with it now. I have a ton of inventory. They choose what listings go out to, like Google. I think Google is where they've all sold on. Like they get, again, I don't really know exactly how that all works. Just that they're doing it, and they're doing it with my listings. I'm paying for it and I'm getting sales. So, and I've done the math and it's been worth it. But I would not, if you are a new shop and you do not have a lot of listings, I would not do ads yet. You don't, that's my opinion. I opted out. I didn't like that because I think I did it for a month without realizing that I was being charged. It wasn't until I saw my statement the next month that I was being charged, and I didn't have any sales because I hardly had any inventory, like, 10, 15 listings. So until you have a lot of listings, until you have some traction, until you have some sales, I would wait on the ads. I think there's other things you can do that's more beneficial. But once you start getting some, I think the ads have been working for me. So will I do more? I'm not sure. That's definitely something to look into. So along those lines, there's something called Etsy Plus. Now, we don't pay like a monthly fee, right? We pay an insertion fee and the transaction fees and all of that. But there's no monthly fee. Well, Etsy Plus is like an upgraded version, right? You upgrade to their next level. And there's some like bells and whistles, like you can make your like cover fancier and change the colors, and there's some stuff like that. But there's also some stuff that's more tangible. You get 15 listings for free, which is $3. And then you get $5 towards ads. I've been debating it. There's one last thing I do that you absolutely have to be doing. If you're on social media, you have a link that is specific to your shop. It's your shop's link. That is the link you need to be putting out there. If you're on social media, you got to be using that link. You can add it to your bio or however you are promoting your shop. You want to use that link. And why that's important is because if buyers use that link to go to your Etsy shop and then they buy, you get a discount. I think right now the transaction fee is 6%. If they call it share and save. If they use the share and save, it's only 4%. So you get a little bit of a discount and it's worth it. You definitely want to use that share and save when you are posting on social media or creating your links. Use the share and save. Don't put the Etsy and then, oh, this is where I'm at, like Sunshine Vintage Vibes. No, you want to use your specific link. Another way to, get customers to you and to save a little bit of money. So that is everything that I do for my shop. I really hope this helps. Now, if you have more questions, please leave them in the comments. Next week, next Monday, I'm going to do kind of a Q&A. I had a ton of questions from the last video and the shipping one as well. So I'm going to I'll answer them. I'm answering all of them on the comments, but I'm going to do a Q&A answering everybody's questions in one video because I have been getting so many. I just thought that would be helpful. And I'm learning too. Like I was like, I'm not sure about that. So I've been digging it. Like I didn't really know about Etsy Plus. And so before I did this video, I did some research on Etsy Plus and I'm like, wait a second, maybe I need to maybe I need to take advantage of this. So I'm learning too while you're also learning. So again, I hope this is helpful. Send me your comments. Here's a link to not just my Etsy shop, which you can definitely check out. Also links to all of the items that I use for my shop, or like my label printer. I have had 3 label printers. I did not like the first 2. I love the one I have now. Where I get my tape, the tape dispenser. Now the ring light that I'm using now, I will not recommend. I'm very unhappy with this light. It was too late to return it to Amazon, so I've been dealing with the company. I've sent photos and video, and now they want more. It's like, I'm telling you, this thing does not work, and now they're like blaming me. Oh, you're not using this, you're not using that. I'm like, the thing doesn't stay in. Right now I have a painter's tape to keep the plug in so that the light stays on. So I will not be recommending this light to anybody because I'm very unhappy about it. But everything else, I love everything. So again, just hope it helps. And then I will be back next week with a Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can send them on social media if that's easier. On this link is all my social media links as well. And then I'm gonna definitely dive into my death pile. I can see it like in the corner of my eye. I can see the death pile haunting me. And I just added 2 more items. One item I bought broken that I know I can fix. And then one little handle broke off today, and now I gotta fix that. So my death pile is growing. I have got to tackle that. So I'm going to tackle that in one of the videos, as well as a reframing video. So again, these videos will come out every Monday for a resellers live, kind of behind the scenes of what I'm doing in my Etsy shop and kind of everything else. And then Thursday are always my fun thrifting videos. So thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next Monday. Okay, thanks. Bye.